Hi, I get asked a lot why I got into Pure Haven Essentials, and I think a lot of it has to do with my background. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up on a farm in upstate New York with my mom and dad and my three siblings. My father bought a farm when I turned like 7 years old, and we moved, and we ended up raising about 60 head of cattle. Um, we had we also had pigs and chickens and horses and dogs and cats. Um, we had a very large garden that we took care of and put stuff out by the road to sell on a trailer, and it was a very wholesome lifestyle. Um, my father was an osteopathic physician, second generation. His father was an osteopath as well. Osteopaths do a very holistic type of medicine. They have a lot of hands-on therapeutic medicine as opposed to just writing prescriptions for ailments. Um, my mother was a teacher, so she spent a lot of time teaching us a lot. My dad also was an avid hunter and fisherman, so we did a lot of camping. We skied on the weekends in the wintertime with friends from Buffalo in the Buffalo area. Um, we had very active childhoods. There was a lot of work that went with farming that was very good for us. We also were avid swimmers. And so we lived a very holistic kind of life growing up. And that kind of carried over into my adulthood. Once I had my own children, I breastfed my kids. I put them in cloth diapers. I made baby food. I stayed home with them for many years. And then when I finally went back to work, I worked two jobs. But one of the jobs I worked part time was in a pharmacy. And I ended up going there full time when my husband was out of work for a while. And I learned a lot about drugs while I worked there, and I learned a lot about people, and I learned a lot about what these drugs do to us. And the one thing that I noticed was that once somebody gets that first prescription, it seems to be not very long before all of a sudden they are on five. And there were people that would just keep getting prescriptions and more and more and more. And then there were people who would get to a certain point and they go, I'm done, no more. And they start taking care of themselves and changing the way they do things. And they would actually reverse their issues. And those were the people that really intrigued me the most. I would ask them a lot of questions and find out what they did. And a lot of them just really worked really hard. Well, I remember when I got my first prescription, and I wasn't very happy because I didn't like the idea of taking drugs. I've never liked the idea of taking drugs. So I took the prescription, and I didn't want to deal with the problems that were causing it. I had some heart issues, and I proceeded to get very upset about it, but it was not going to make me change my ways very much. And then one day, in December of 2014, I got up and took the dogs out early in the morning, and I fell, and I broke my ankle. And it was the stupidest, boringest story ever. People expect you to tell these, I was skiing, I was this. No, I turned around and I fell, and my fat butt broke my fat ankle. And it was my wake up call to change things before things got out of hand. And I had to have surgery on that ankle. I have a metal plate in my leg with several screws. And I really, I really didn't know quite what to do. I had a lot of problems with the pain medication that they gave me, which I wasn't expecting to have problems with. And so I decided that when I started doing the physical therapy, because I could not believe what being in a cast could do to one leg, um, I decided to do everything that I had to do for that leg to the other leg. And one thing led to another, and the physical therapy became a workout. And the workout created a 55-pound weight loss that was um, life changing for me. I started looking at my diet and what was going into my body. And then, because at the same time, my husband was having skincare issues because he is gloriously Irish and got sunspots on his face, um, we started looking at what we're putting on our bodies as well. And I found that the listing of ingredients on his skincare stuff that his dermatologist gave him were actually harmful chemicals. And I wasn't really impressed, but it did explain to me why he had to keep going back to have things removed and why he had to go back more frequently as he kept using these things. He was using products that are have cancer causing substances that really, are we just creating a customer? Because I don't understand why we're using this. And these are name brand products that you get in the store, and I was not happy. I started looking into doing something different, and started thinking about going back to direct sales because I knew that I could find quality products in direct sales, multi-level marketing. So I started doing some research. And I went back and I researched the company that I used to sell for. And their products were pretty clean, but not clean enough. They still had plenty of products that had some harmful chemicals that I just didn't want to have on my body anymore. So my sister and I talked, and she told me about this company in Warren, Rhode Island that she was keeping an eye on, that she had just started using the products of, and she wanted me to check it out. So I decided to do that, and it turned out to be Pure Haven. And I signed up with them last year on my birthday, March 3rd, and it was the best decision I have ever made for my skin and for my environment around me. Um, I cannot believe the difference it has made in my life. And I have watched close friends lose people that mean the world to them. And what I have learned in the meantime about harmful chemicals in our personal care products and what they are potentially doing to open up our abilities to get things and create the perfect storm within our bodies boggles my mind. I can't imagine how anybody can use anything with so much nasty, harmful chemicals in them. But here's the catch: most of us have no idea. So, if you are interested in the slightest bit about what you might be putting on your body, please, please look into it, do the research, call me and ask me. I will help you. If I don't have the answers, I'll find someone who does. I do a lot of reading on this, a lot of research. It is my passion because I love my products that I have now. Pure Haven has no harmful chemicals at all. I never worry about what I'm putting on my face, on my body, on my dog, on my cat, in my environment, in my shower, and what's going down my drain and into my environment around me. So that's why I do what I do and why I do it with Pure Haven Essentials.